Hey everybody, it's me, Greg Bosson, president of QuickBooks Made Easy for Nonprofits, coming at you with January 2024's Quick Tip. If you don't know this, once a month, we at QuickBooks Made Easy come out with a little video that we email to you if you subscribe to us that kind of gives you a little tip about how to make life a little bit easier for yourself and fix problems in QuickBooks Desktop as well as QuickBooks Online. This tip is specifically for those of you that are using QuickBooks Online, and it has to do with a problem that I've been hearing a lot about. We have technical support, and people call us up with questions, and a lot of people have been calling saying, my income isn't appearing in the right line on my profit and loss. So I'm going to show you what oftentimes the problem is and how to fix it. So just kind of follow with me on the ride here. So we're looking at a profit and loss, and as you can tell, we have this weird line called services. It's like, I don't know what that is. And then additionally, maybe you look at individual contributions and you're like, I know it's a lot bigger than this. So it doesn't look like income is showing, and then it looks like there's this weird income down here. And so that's a problem. So the theme is when income isn't showing on the right line, what is the cause of that and how do you fix it? Now, this isn't true in every case, but if you are a person that uses the sales forms in QuickBooks, either you're using an invoice form because you're invoicing out of QuickBooks, or perhaps you are wanting to use QuickBooks as a donor, member, or student database, and because of our training, you're using the sales receipts, which is what you're supposed to use. So if you're using these sales forms, sales receipts, and income and invoices, then I have a pretty good idea of what may be the problem if your income isn't showing on the right line item. Okay? So here's the reason why. If you use these sales forms, for instance, the sales receipt is one, from my earlier trainings, you will know that these sales forms don't allow you to tell QuickBooks which income account something goes to. Not directly anyway. When you use the sales forms, instead you use something called product services. And the product service points to the income account. So instead of putting an income account directly onto a sales receipt or a sales form, you have to use a product service that points to an income account. So if your P&L is showing things on wrong line items when it comes to income, if you're using the sales forms, it's probably because you haven't pointed the product service to the appropriate income account. So let me show you how you can figure this out. So we're just going to go down to this services line, and I'm going to go ahead and click on this number, $59,120. And you'll see that it's made up of a bunch of sales receipts. So it's made up of a bunch of sales receipts. I'm going to switch to the classic view since that's what most of you do. Anyway, so here's the sales receipts. It's all these sales receipts. And if I go down to the bottom, and I actually have to go down to the bottom on the right-hand side, you'll see 59,120. 59,120. So these are all the transactions that make up this weird line called services. And as you can see, I've used sales receipts. So I'll just click on this first sales receipt here and see what product service I used. Because again, you can't use income accounts. You have to use products and services that point to income accounts. Well, we used a product service called individual contributions. So why doesn't it appear on the individual contributions line item? Why is it part of this services line? It's because you didn't point it right when you created the product service. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to, get out of here, I'm going to go to this gear, and I'm going to go to the product service list. And this is what you have to do to kind of make sure everything is pointed right. I'm going to go ahead and product service. And I'm going to go down to the individual contributions product service. I'm going to edit it. And as you can see, it's pointed not to individual contributions, but it's pointed to this weird income account called services, which is actually a default account, which QuickBooks Online gives you, which none of us use. So my guess is, in this example, the client created a new product service because they had something new and they were in the middle of doing a sales receipt and they didn't really know where to point it. So they just kind of let it default to the services income account. Now it here is in the end of the year and all these transactions are in the wrong place. Well, so how do you fix this? Well, it's actually very easy to fix. Okay. You don't have to you don't have to repoint every single one of these transactions. You don't have to do that. Okay. Instead, all you really got to do, it's real easy. You just have to repoint the item, okay, the product service, to the income account that it should have gone to. So I'm going to go down here, well, there it is right here, and I'm going to simply point it to the account that it should have gone to, which is individual contributions. Now, if you just click Save and Close, it won't correct the problem. It'll correct it on future transactions, but if you want to change the transactions in the past, in other words, you don't want these things down here, you want them up here, you want to change the transactions in the past, that's what this line is for. Also update this account in historical transactions. It only appears when you change the income account, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and check this box. I'm going to go ahead and click Save and Close. It's going to change all the transactions that are existing. So when I look at the P&L again, I'll have to refresh the screen, but the services line item is going to go away because now it repoints all those to the individual income accounts, and now it's in the right place. Okay? So that is how to fix income that is showing in the wrong account because it wasn't pointed correctly in the product service list. Now, sometimes, I was going to tell you this, sometimes things won't be appearing in the right line, and you'll look at the sales receipts or the invoices, and it's like, well, it's individual contributions that's not being pointed to the right line. And you'll go down here, and it'll be in individual contributions. You'll be like, well, why is it pointing to services when here it's in individual contributions? It's because somebody changed it in the middle of the year. Okay? And so all the old stuff still has to be repointed. So how do you fix that? If the new stuff is already in the right place, it's just that old stuff. Well, what you have to do is you kind of have to reset the point. So I'm just going to play with this for a second. I don't see the update existing transactions. I have to click this. I have to change it to something. I'll just change it to a wrong account. I won't update. I'll click Save. Then I'll go back in. Then I can change them all to individual contributions. This time I will check it, and now it'll fix all the old stuff. So see, I just kind of reset the pointing, right? I had to kind of move it away from the right account and then move it back and then tell it to update historical, and then it'll fix everything, okay? So that's the tool, that's the trick, and you're going to use it all the time, okay? So hopefully that was good. It is January, which means it's 1099 season. They're due at the end of the month, and we want to help you with that so that you can get them out of QuickBooks Online. We have a training coming up. If you go to webinars, you'll see our training is coming up on January the 18th. You will have plenty of time if you wait to do your 1099s until after this session. I promise you. You really shouldn't be starting to do your 1099s until after you've reconciled your bank accounts for December 31 anyway, to make sure that the 1099s reflect all the actual payments. So anyway, I'll go ahead and click on this. It's $109 to come to this thing. It's from 2 to 3:30, I think. And Barbara Starley's going to teach it. She's crazy about 1099s and getting them right. She's fun. I'll be there too. But anyway, we're going to go through the whole thing. Who should get 1099s, getting the W-9 out to them, what the dollar amount is, what the limits, how to get them out of QuickBooks Online. And you can actually do the whole thing electronically through QuickBooks Online. You don't have to print anything if you don't want to. It's very, very cool. Like I said, it's 109, but I think there's a $10 coupon somewhere at the bottom of this little video. So I really hope that you come to it. We do this every year, but we're going to step you through the process step by step. And I'll see you there.